Hello, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Jargalma Tushinjargal. On the News Mongolia today, Cabinet proposed amendments to the law on public procurement prioritize quality-based criteria. The Canada-Mongolia Merit Project will be implemented until 2030. Parents and educators say heavy homework loads overwhelm students. For the news, stay tuned. The fifth meeting of the Economic Development Board was held on May 5th, focusing on two major legislative reforms, a draft of amendments to the law on public procurement and the law on the Development Bank of Mongolia. Cabinet Secretariat Ochral Nimasur introduced the amendments to the public procurement law, emphasizing a shift from low-price competition to quality-based selection. The amendments propose integrating environmental and social impact criteria into tender evaluations and eliminating the financial guarantee requirement for tenders below 10 billion Mongolian tugruks, covering 99% of all tenders. The procurement process will be fully digital and AI supported, with legal disputes to be resolved by an independent council in line with international standards. Board members supported the direction of the reforms. Mongolian National Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Turot Laugjau praised the inclusion of private sector feedback and called for further digitalization. President Hurulsuk's economic policy advisor Dawadala Batsur highlighted the need to support domestic producers and persons with disabilities. Shongle Holding President Batsahan Puru suggested reviewing the $36 million threshold for large-scale projects. The meeting also covered proposed amendments to the law on the Development Bank of Mongolia. Following significant debt repayments, including $500 million in euro bonds and 30 billion yen in samurai bonds, the bank would be restructured as an export-import bank with a new capital base. Future financing would require at least 15% financing from project initiators, with a focus on renewable energy, agriculture, logistics, and manufacturing. A new legal framework will ensure greater transparency and accountability. Members of the board emphasized improving governance and minimizing political influence. Mongolia Economic Forum Chairman Ganhoyek Cholong stressed stronger risk management, and Otjargal Jambalchamt, head of MCS Holding LLC, recommended cooperation with international financial institutions. Prime Minister Oyurden Lofsonnamsre reaffirmed the cabinet's support for the reforms and noted that the amendments to the law on the Development Bank would soon be submitted to Parliament. He added that open discussions through the Economic Development Board are an effective model for policy development. The board's next meeting will address issues related to social insurance and taxation. A new phase of the Canada-Mongolia Merit Project was launched in Ulaanbaatar on May 5th to strengthen Mongolia's civil service through reforms focused on inclusion, human rights, and ethics. The Merit Project aims to strengthen Mongolia's civil service by promoting a merit-based system focused on inclusion, human rights, and ethics. Building on previous initiatives, such as the 2016 to 2024 Merit Governance Project and the UNDP's 2018 to 2023 Civil Service Program, this new phase sets out specific and practical measures to improve public sector performance and accountability.
Canada is known to have one of the most effective civil service. So it's only natural that Canada provides support to Mongolia in that area. It's actually building on several other projects that we have funded that was looking at civil service reform, not just the previous Merit Project, that was looking at it from a natural resource point of view, but we've also worked with UNDP over many years to focus on professionalizing the civil service. So looking at the training, looking at building the capacity, looking at making it more results-based civil service. So we're hoping that this project can build on everything that was done in the past to continue that ambition to provide more result-based management into the civil service, make them more effective, more gender equal as well, and overall just improve the capacity of the civil service.
Implementation will involve close collaboration with central government agencies, governor's office, and other relevant institutions to introduce best practices and systems aligned with the needs of Mongolian citizens. Canadian advisors, merit staff, and local consultants will provide technical assistance, training, and mentoring to civil servants at the central and local levels. Project partners include the Civil Service Council of Mongolia, the Office of the Cabinet Secretariat, the National Human Rights Commission, the National Committee on Gender Equality, and the National Academy of Governance.
A not-for-profit economic development organization, and we've been working in Mongolia since 2016 until 2024, implementing the first merit project. The first merit project focused on governance around responsible mining practice. This second merit project is focused on the civil service reform and supporting the key institutions, the Civil Service Council, the Cabinet Secretariat, the Human Rights Commission, the National Committee on Gender Equality, and the National Academy of Governance in implementing and enforcing the civil service law and the law on ethics. We'll be implementing the project in 4 provinces, and we're talking to the governors now to determine which provinces to implement in. And we'll be using a combination of Canadian technical advisors who are experts in civil service reform, local consultants, merit staff, and close collaboration with the ministries, agencies, and local governments who are implementing the civil service law and the law on ethics.
The project will apply its proven technical assistance model of practical training, mentoring, and coaching to build the knowledge and the skills of civil servants to advance civil service reform and promote citizens' awareness and participation in democratic processes. By 2030, the project aims to achieve 4 main goals: developing inclusive legal and policy frameworks that protect human rights and ethics, strengthening civil servants' ability to implement them, increasing accountability in provincial governments to provide citizen-focused services, and boosting public awareness and engagement in democratic processes. A recent study from Ulaanbaatar's General Education School number 23 revealed that Mongolian students are overwhelmed by excessive homework, prompting educators to call for more balanced and creative assignments. Students in Mongolia's general education system face increasingly heavy homework loads, with many saying they often stay up past midnight to complete assignments. On average, general education school students study 18 to 19 subjects. Students and parents report that the volume of homework leaves students little time for rest or leisure, and in some cases, it even reduces their motivation to learn. Sometimes I just can't finish everything, and then the teacher gets angry. We're given a lot of homework. Since school ends late, I'm already exhausted. There is a quite lot of homework. Every assignment needs to be reviewed beforehand, so it has to be done thoroughly. My child ends up staying up late to finish everything. It would be better if homework was structured more systematically and matched their age and development level.
Honestly, teachers seem to be assigning too much work. We're spending the entire evening on it.
Ulaanbaatar's school number 23 surveyed over 1,000 students to evaluate homework burdens. The survey revealed that 32% of students spent 2 to 3 hours per day on homework, while 26% spent 3 to 4 hours. Teachers explained that the high volume of content in the curriculum requires reinforcement through homework. However, school number 23's academics department now advises teachers to assign more engaging tasks that foster creativity rather than simply increasing student workloads.
Completely eliminating homework isn't possible. Reinforcement is essential, especially in science subjects. Without review and repetition, students won't fully absorb the material or develop the necessary skills. The overload likely stems from too many academic content-based subjects.
With proper time management, homework would not feel so burdensome, but students are not managing their time well. They don't properly allocate time for rest or study, so they end up rushing to complete assignments, which leads to burnout. I think it's more appropriate to assign creative tasks that match children's interests, activities they can work on collaboratively in teams. These types of assignments are more meaningful. Education experts emphasize that homework should not simply keep students busy, but rather foster their intrinsic motivation to learn. Assignments should be designed to encourage creative thinking and student initiative. Several countries have adopted what is known as the 10-minute rule for homework. Under this model, primary school students are expected to spend only 15 to 20 minutes on homework per night, with the duration increasing by 10 minutes for each subsequent grade level. Here are the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Thank you for staying with us. Now let's take a look at weather forecast for Mongolia and world major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.